And a salute. I'm your host, Chris Budihas. Today's segment is sponsored by the Military Affairs and Veterans Department, City of Jacksonville. Harrison Conyers in team scoring our veterans with the benefits they earn through their military service. Joining me here today in the studio is my friend, Manny Vera with the Travis Manion Foundation. Manny, how you been?
How you doing, Chris?
It's always good to see you.
Likewise, sir.
So 1 year over at Travis Manion.
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
It's been a phenomenal year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us more.
Yeah, so, the opportunity to serve veterans, Gold Star families and youth, what can you compare that to? It's so much meaning, purpose. The mission speaks out to everything that my values and stuff. So it's just been an incredible year. Well,
tell the audience that aren't familiar with Travis Manion Foundation, and the question is why don't they know? But let's tell them anyway. What is the foundation? How was the foundation created? Why was it created? And what do you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're named after First Lieutenant Travis Manion. He was a Marine Corps officer that made the ultimate sacrifice in April of 2007. Since then, the family started the foundation in his honor, and we have evolved to a nationwide veteran service organization. So where our mission is empowering that veteran and surviving family member to mentor that next generation, which is our youth.
Yeah.
So we do that through a flagship youth mentoring program. We do community service out there in the local community and across the country. So it truly is a community to just give you that next thing after you take off that uniform, that purpose, that meaning, to continue serving, whether it is doing mentorship or whether that's just serving out with other veterans in the community.
How did you get in this space?
So I previously worked with a different nonprofit organization, but my purpose was always to serve those veterans. So that extended military connected family. So I got lucky. I did a type on Google one day and saw that TMF was hiring specifically out of Jacksonville. So like many say, I just shot my shot.
But it's interesting, you were a military policeman, you served, overseas, you served in here in the United States. You got out after 10 years. And you hit the books, right? I mean, you educated yourself to better serve those folks through education and service. So can you tell the group about, what was kind of your journey from from uniform into this space? Yeah,
absolutely. So I think one of the biggest things is that networking piece that a lot of veterans don't have or don't put much value into it. But through my network and through meeting people like yourself, Will from Vets on Tap, and Bruce Thompson, and everybody else, they give you that advice and that guidance. I never knew that working in the nonprofit industry was a thing. Like, you mean to tell me that I can have employment to do something very meaningful and impactful, and on top of that, the salary is just an added bonus? Like, I was like, hey, I'm all in. So very important to just network, because we don't know what we don't know, but there's somebody out there that can guide you in that transition process to where it doesn't have to be this dark space, these obstacles that come with that transition. You're able to see the light and network with those other veterans that have done the same thing as you.
That's great. So for folks, here in the Northeast Florida, Southeast Georgia area with Travis Manion Foundation, what are some of the things you've done here in the last like 3 to 4 months, and then any like this was a win? I did this, and this was a win with TMF. Yeah, absolutely. We have a flagship school that we work with at White High School here in Duval County. We work with their Naval ROTC cadets. Great group of kids. We have veterans that do the mentorship program with them. We recently got funding with the ViStar Credit Union Foundation to continue that impact. So Northeast Florida is booming. So my call to action to any veteran that's here watching this, like, reach out. There's different ways to serve. Here's one of many ways to continue that service post-military. What would you say to the veteran? Because this is, we're actually international now. I've interviewed people overseas. So folks are looking at Florida. It's a great state of Florida. It's a wonderful place to live. But people are looking at Jacksonville. If they're a veteran, why should they come to Jacksonville to live? We have a plethora of resources and organization, like you mentioned. The Military Affairs and Veterans Department, City of Jacksonville, booming, great leadership, and great organization here. Calling Out Wounded Warrior Project is here. Onward to Opportunity, Operation New Uniform. There's so many different VSOs here that can help with that transition, and we welcome any veteran looking at Florida, like, hey, this is your new community. Here's one of many ways that you could thrive in your post-military lives. That's huge, You guys do such a great job outside the pay or the scope of your work, like mentoring folks and getting them, talking on target, like, hey, did you consider the following things, or did you talk to these folks? That's gigantic. That doesn't happen all across the nation, but here in Florida it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So for those veterans looking to separate in the next year, because obviously you transition, I transition, what's the one piece of advice you would tell a veteran as they're a year out from transition that they should consider for their planning?
I would tell them to start networking as soon as possible, and don't take this journey alone.
Yeah.
Right? We've all been there, we've all done that, but making them know that you're not alone in this transition journey. Reach out. There's so many great organizations, people, resources out here for them specifically, to know that you don't have to do the transition alone. We're here, we thank you for your service, but there's so much more that you could provide and give in your post-military life.
I love that, because we talk in service, like you gotta have physical courage, you gotta have moral courage, and I've told some other veterans, like, you gotta have the moral courage to reach out, because I think LinkedIn's an extremely powerful tool, but if you're gonna sit back in your transition and be miserable and just complain amongst you and your family, you're not changing your station in life. So veterans are more than willing. In my own personal journey, I reached out to folks. I said, hey, I'm considering working in your line of business. How do you do it? You mind if I email you with some questions? They're like, no, let's jump on a call.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think like 17, 18 people that said, no, let's jump on a call. We spent 30 minutes to an hour. They're very gracious with their time. And they gave me absolutely great advice. So I had an idea of what I did want to do and what I didn't want to do. And so you can reinforce that. Your network is your net worth, and that's the thing you got to lean back on. And people are. And it's not all about the money, but it's about the value you get in those relationships. That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. That old saying when people or soldiers are getting ready to get out in the Army, hey, I'm going back to Fort Couch.
Yeah.
But what I like to say is that Fort Couch can be the enemy, right? Like you're doing all these things, like get off of Fort Couch, get out there, serve, and just thrive in that post-military lives.
That's awesome. Manny, thanks for your service to the nation.
Hey, Chris,
always good
you,
to see you.
Likewise.
Travis Manion Foundation. How do folks find TMF?
They go to www.travismanion.org or can reach out to me directly, Manny Vera, on LinkedIn.
All right. Awesome, Manny.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see you again.
Likewise.
Hey, folks, like what you heard, connect with Manny and I on LinkedIn. We'll love to talk to you, continue the conversation. TMF, making an impact across our nation, named after our hero, if you will, who gave his life in combat to free other people that are oppressed, but also to protect his battle buddies under battlefield conditions. So shout out to Travis Manion Foundation and his family for developing this legacy, which is paying back to our veteran community. We'll see you in our next segment and live with gratitude.
When they leave us for battle, we await their return. When their embrace is gone, we imagine them with us. Some don't come back. We grieve. Some come back hurting. We help. Heroes survive. We honor them. Heroes fall. We remember them. 150,000 veterans live in Jacksonville. We serve them. We're the Military Affairs and Veterans Department, City of Jacksonville. Because of them, our light never dims.